Hey, so happy Monday and welcome to our edition of Know Your Members. So we have today our very own Joe, a humorous and witty Joe. Hi Joe, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Thanks. Same here. Good. I'm so glad that you could join us. The last time we had issues with our, well, with my recording issues, but fingers crossed that it works this time.
True, true.
So, so yeah, so I mean, the first speech that I heard of yours was "It's Just a Name," and that was the speech for the humorous contest at our club, Opulent. And yeah, that was
Yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah.
I just loved that speech. So
So
what?
that's
What?
like a true incident. Like every day, though it's like a very small name,
Uh-huh.
JOE, it gets damaged a lot. So
Yeah.
I use that experience in that speech. So
Hmm. Pretty interesting. Yeah, lots of people in our club also call you Joey. Although I'm not sure
Joy,
if it's.
Jay.
I don't know if it's because after your speech or it was already before your speech. It's more like a chicken and egg thing now. So, were you always a good speaker, or this is something that happened after you joined Toastmasters? Like, yeah.
Always a good speaker. I'm still getting better at being the number one speaker, which is that is still work in progress. But
Uh-huh.
I've been a speaker always. Like even before joining Toastmasters, I joined Toastmasters 5 years back.
Uh-huh.
But being into a public speaking, I'm into a training profile. So it's been a decade since I've been delivering training sessions, public
Right.
speaking. So
So good. I guess, yeah, your humorous nature will be pretty good when you're doing trainings because, yeah, I mean, some of the trainings that I've been to, I mean, obviously, I've not been to your trainings. I would love to be part of those, but some of the ones that I've been to, I've fallen asleep halfway. So I'm pretty sure your humorous side will be definitely good for that. So, what's your secret to your witty and humorous speeches? I mean, is it something that you just come up with? Are you prepared with it before? How does it work? Because most of them seem spontaneous to me.
right now, I do, of course, use humor in almost every speech, whether it's table topics or sometimes even in evaluation. So
Uh-huh.
I believe that humor is part of our life. It's not just part of a humorous speech, not just part of any speech, but even part of our life. It all started way back during my school days, where people usually brag that being in the sitting in the last row is a great thing. But
Uh-huh.
for me, it was a whole new story. I was sitting in the first row, the corner seat, and sitting there, I used to crack jokes, and which would be like a running commentary for the teachers' uh, classes.
Uh-huh.
And I used to do that with just such a straight face, with zero expressions, that my friends sitting around me, they'd be laughing. So they will get caught, they will get scoldings from the teacher, and I'll be like sitting there as though nothing happened. So I used to enjoy those moments and cherish that, and it went on. So whether if it's with my family, friends, at work, I always used to try cracking jokes. Sometimes it works, it doesn't work sometimes, but then I always keep to used to keep doing that. And being in a training profile, I also got a lot of stage time. So there
Uh-huh.
was a lot of training sessions or even game shows which I'm anchoring. There's plenty of time where I had that stage time. So I used that stage time to try out my humor, try those jokes, and that when I could see that it is actually entertaining the audience, I made sure that it is part of every speech of mine.
Pretty
It is
awesome.
almost like become like the humor for me is like the virus these days. It's there everywhere.
Spreading everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I used to have a friend who was like you, who used to crack jokes. The only difference is I was the one who got caught in the class because I used to sit next to him. But yeah, that was fun. So, what exactly brought you to Toastmasters, and which was your first club that you joined?
Okay. My first club is Coimbatore Toastmasters Club, which is District 82 back in Tamil Nadu. But how did my Toastmasters journey start? It was an interesting story. Like I was in one of these training sessions where during the lunch break, me and my colleague were just chit-chatting. He just showed me a video. It was a YouTube video of 2015 winning speech of Dhananjay Hettidache.
Okay.
So 7 minute speech, I heard that and I was like, nice. So this is something good and something which I can also try. And that's when my colleague, who is also a Toastmaster, who said there is a club, there is an organization which is for public speaking. I was like all excited because I never knew about it. And I cannot sing, I cannot dance, I'm not even a bathroom singer, I cannot draw. So speaking is the only thing I can do. And when I came to know that there is an organization for speaking, I was like, wow, I am joining. I was clueless about what the format is, what happens there, nothing. I just heard there is a club, an organization for speaking. I had already made up the mind to join. So came back to Coimbatore as a guest, went to this Coimbatore Toastmasters Club, got a chance to speak in table topics. I was the table topics winner for that day with no clue. I just spoke for 2 minutes. But usually guests come for the meeting and then they get liked about the meeting and then they would want to join. Some might take some time to think and then get back. But I went to the meeting with the mindset that even before the meeting started, I went there with the mindset I'm gonna join. So I didn't wait for the meeting to end. I went to the meeting with the mindset that I'm going to join this because it's about speaking.
Right.
So the joy for speaking, the passion for speaking brought me to a Toastmasters.
Cool. And yeah, I mean, Toastmasters is the better for having you as part of the club. So I'm glad that you actually chose to join. And eventually that you joined Opulent as well. So you've been part of multiple clubs around multiple cities because you've traveled for your work, obviously. So what all clubs have you been part of in what all districts and cities?
So the list of clubs, I'm like literally clueless now. It's like a huge list. So I will tell you the list of clubs which I was or am a member of. So in Coimbatore, I started off with this Coimbatore Toastmasters Club, and that is District 82. Later, for almost a year, I was working in Mangalore, which is Karnataka. I couldn't attend many of my club meetings
Right.
because I was in Mangalore. So partially for 7 to 8 months, I was part of two clubs in Mangalore, in Spawn Toastmasters Club and one more club there in Mangalore. So there were two clubs. That is District 92, which is Karnataka and Kerala. And almost a year back, I got a new job, came to Pune, District 98, the third district, and then here again part of two clubs, Opulent and Karadi Toastmasters Club. So been member of 5 clubs, 3 districts. So that's the official count. But the number of clubs I've been visiting, it's like n number of clubs. Like in my previous job, I used to travel a lot. So the first thing I do is check. After checking into the hotel, I will check for the clubs in the vicinity. And in a 3 to 5 days trip, I'll make sure that I visit at least 1 to 2 clubs. So from Hyderabad to Chennai to Bangalore a lot of clubs in Pune. Now, after the online meeting, there's no boundaries. So, a couple of weeks back, a meeting in Australia. A week before that, in Pakistan. So, today again, in another hour's time, like this Australian Toastmasters meeting, I feel like almost I'm a member there. They send me an invite every week. They are pretty new to the online meeting. So during their first online meeting, I helped them. By the time I had attended like around 10-20 online meetings. So I just helped them with how to set it up and few do's and don'ts. So they have been inviting me like for almost all their meetings.
Oh, pretty cool, man. So you have now Toastmasters friends from around the world, pretty much.
Globe, yeah.
Pretty awesome. So I guess that's also the power of an organization like Toastmasters, that you can go to pretty much any city and just meet up with people. And now even online you can go to a different country as well, even sitting at home. So
Absolutely.
one thing I wanted to ask you is when people move from one city to another, be it for a job or for any reason, it's a little hard for them to settle in and make friends and stuff. So does Toastmasters actually help with that? I mean, what is your experience in that?
I'm not sure about others' experience, but I can share my own experience because, as I said, just a year back, I came to Pune. So I
Right.
came to Pune with zero friends. Of course, there are a couple of relatives like who are my cousins, in-laws, like that. There are people, but then I came to Pune with zero friends.
Right.
So the first few days when I was settling down in terms of finding a room and all that, like I still don't have any clue about the Toastmasters setup in Pune. It just took 1 week time for me to settle down in terms of the place to stay. But once that was done, the very next week, it was District 98's Eloquence, that is the district conference.
Right.
It was just my second week. I'm still searching for the house, but I made sure that I attended Eloquence because I was sure that being someone new to Pune and someone who's ready to start the Toastmasters journey in Pune, a district conference would be an perfect platform to get to meet all the Toastmasters under one roof. So I made sure that I spent a weekend there. The Saturday and Sunday was there at Eloquence, the district conference. I did get to meet a lot of Toastmasters friends and ended up joining Karadi Toastmasters Club because it's on a Saturday and comparatively it was close from my place. And now part of two clubs, and we always keep referring this Toastmasters as a family. It's not just words, it's actually true. At least in my case, as I said, I came with zero friends, and it's like today, right from like if I'm looking for a room to versus like even if I make a new dish, there is a community, there is a family to whom we can actually share. In fact, at Karadi Toastmasters Club, we even have a food group. So there are foodies who are part of that group who share food pictures in that group. So it's like a total true family. Now, Saturday at Karadi and Sunday at Opulent. So it's like my week is complete. That I look forward to the weekends more because to meet two families. Definitely. In fact, I joined Toastmasters for networking. So more than, as I said, though I was into speaking already, more than speaking, I was looking forward to meeting those people, networking, getting to know a lot of people. That was one huge reason. Going back to the story in Coimbatore again, they're still in touch. They invite me for their meetings, and that family, though it's like been around 2 years since I left Coimbatore, I'm still part of that club. And Mangalore, Coimbatore, at least I was a president and vice president. Mangalore, I was just there for 5 to 6 months. I have hardly attended like 3 to 4 meetings, but I'm still part of the club WhatsApp group, and they still share updates and still wish me for birthdays. So it is a family. It is a beautiful family.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Because even I joined the club because I really wanted to do something on Sunday, make new friends, and of course practice my public speaking. And I've definitely got more than what I wanted to when I joined. So it's actually awesome to be part of Toastmasters. Totally. So, what is your most memorable moment in Toastmasters? I'm pretty sure you've had lots. It'll be hard for you to, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, I cannot define as one moment as a memorable moment because I would definitely, I have had a great journey in terms of contests. There are a lot of contests where I've won and lost, but there are a lot of trophies which is there in my shelf. But more than that moment, what I would cherish is again something to do with people. There is this one contest where it was like almost sure like I would be the winning speech, giving the winning speech, but then I did lose that. Finals did not go well. I lost the speech, and there were a lot of people who came and asked me, who consoled me. And there was this one Toastmaster who came to me, and he didn't say anything. He just said, "Can I give you a hug?"
Nice.
That happened like some 3 years back, but that Toastmaster, that moment, that hug is still special to me. So sometimes, more than the trophies which is there in the shelf, there are a lot of people whom I have earned as trophies. Like whether I win, lose, whether I do a good job or a bad job, there are these set of people who always cherish seeing me speak. So these are the set of trophies which I feel which I've earned, the trophies which will never get dusted.
I agree. I mean, the human connection in Toastmasters, that's something really, really good. And yeah, I'm one of those who just look forward and cherish to wait to see you speak in your speeches. So they're pretty wonderful because I always have a good time listening to them. So, uh, what would so you've been a Toastmaster for now multiple years in multiple cities. What would be your recommendation to a fellow Toastmaster, someone who's just joining in new? How would you explain to him how you can make most out of the platform of Toastmasters?
Okay, so that's like a question which each one of us need to actually answer, because
Okay.
unlike any other organization, here we are paying. Right? We
Right.
are paying for it, and it's a self-learning program. So nobody is gonna, of course, the VP, the XCOM might ask you when are you giving your speech. Your mentor might ask you when are you giving your speech and what role are you taking. But end of the day, it's up to you. So we actually did this a couple of years back in Coimbatore, like a ROI. So, for example, if you're paying around 4,200 for 6 months, it's around 700 rupees a month. So, if you calculate that 700 for that 4 weeks, right, it's approximately around, let's say, around 180 rupees a week, which is for one meeting. I'm talking about the physical meetings. If you're
Right.
just attending one meeting, like let's say to round it up, around 200 rupees for a meeting. So, every meeting which you miss, actually losing 200 rupees.
I didn't think of
You
it
got
that
to make full use of it. Yeah, per meeting you're actually paying 200 rupees, and then if you're not making it for the meeting, the loss is for you. You paid for the meeting already and you're not making for it. Now that's one way to look at it. Now going for the meeting is not just enough. What do you do in it? Right? It could be table topics, it could be a role, it could be a speech. I would ideally say once a month a speech, if a prepared speech, if not at least once in 30 to 45 days one speech, and in the remaining 3 to 4 weeks, if not a prepared speech, either table topics or right from a SAA to a timer or any role where you get that stage time. Because I always say this, not everybody is into a profile like mine where I outside Toastmasters also I get a lot of speaking time.
Right.
Not necessarily everybody should be in a profile like that. So utilize every meeting. And today, in a scenario like this where it's online meeting, there shouldn't be any excuses for skipping the meeting. Right?
That's true.
Even in that time, if you have something else and if you're not able to make it for your club meeting, you should make it a point that you're attending at least one meeting during that week in any clubs across the globe. So which means you've still utilized that 200
100
rupees.
bucks. Totally. I mean,
So
that's
that's the way you look at the return of investment. This is just basic, but then you can even multiply your learnings in terms of taking part in contests, being the contest chair or event chair. So these are multiple roles, the leadership tracks, networking, listening. And we always believe, and we also joined Toastmasters thinking that we need to improve our communication skills. And the only way to do that is speaking.
totally.
No, that's only a part of it. Listening to others also helps us to improve our communication skills. So take up the role of evaluators, maybe even a meeting where no role, just listen to the speeches. But first step is to make sure that you attend at least one meeting a week. Second step is to make sure that any role, take up just one role in each of these meetings, had a variety. Don't give, so there are some people who give only prepared speeches. That's it. They will not do anything. They will make it for the club only when they are giving a speech. That is a bad strategy.
That is true.
Don't make it for meetings only when you are giving speeches. Listen to other speeches also.
That's true.
Take up different roles, it adds variety, add your innovation to that roles. Recently, when I took up the accounter role, I use an Excel sheet to display the number of hours used by each member, and there is a total count of each hours, the words, and then a total count of fillers for the whole meeting as a club. So there are different ways in which you could innovate, you can try. And with
Yeah.
online meetings, it's like, as I said, there's no boundaries. If even with this online meetings, if you're not attending one meeting a week, which means the return of investment is not happening.
Totally. With online meetings, you can attend pretty much infinite amount of meetings. Absolutely. And even when you have physical meetings, I think Pune has more than, I don't 70 or maybe 90. I don't know the
Yeah,
exact
close to 80 clubs. So it's
number.
always great to visit other clubs. You can learn something new from other clubs, their best practices. So it's always a great practice to visit different clubs.
Different clubs, definitely. And yeah, definitely. I mean, attending one meeting a week and various clubs is definitely something you should do. And yeah, so thanks for that advice, Joe. And yeah, so professionally, I'm pretty sure it's helped you because you've already told us that you are into learning and development and training, and you take a lot of sessions as well. So professionally, I'm sure it's helped you quite a bit. Do you have, is there any moment that you thought, yeah, Toastmasters really helped me here?
Okay. So as I mentioned, like I was into speak earlier also, and then I joined Toastmasters. So it wasn't for me for the stage fear or delivering the speeches. That wasn't something which I would say like the learnings are. But usually, end of the training program, you will collect a feedback form. So the
Right.
participant will give you feedback. Some would give you genuine feedback. Some would just randomly give you some scores. So there is no valid feedback on how you actually perform.
Right.
So that is something which I cherish in Toastmasters. However great you are a speaker, however amateur you are, still you will receive feedback on what you did well and what you could have done better. You could be even a world champion, but still you, if you're giving a speech in your club, you will receive feedback on what you could have done better.
For
So
sure.
that's something which I cherish. Similarly, there are a lot of people to whom I will have to give feedback, evaluate. So I used to do that before Toastmasters also, but after joining Toastmasters, the structure in which I start giving feedback started changing a lot. Right? I used to use the sandwich method, but then it was more after joining Toastmasters, not just my experience as an evaluator, but also listening to a lot of other evaluators. It helped me to structure my thought process in terms of giving evaluation. But my biggest challenge and learning is the impromptu speaking.
Uh-huh.
So when I joined Toastmasters, I used to try everything other than table topics because I was like, okay, you tell me what to speak. I would probably need just 5 minutes to prepare and I can just speak and not maybe like a full length preparation. But impromptu speaking was like a challenge. Like it was like I was stuck. I used to still speak, but then it wasn't like a great speeches. But then I thought, if this is challenge, if this is what is a fear for me, then that's something which I should do.
For sure. For
There
sure.
are speeches where I couldn't even speak for 30 seconds. There are speeches where the topic was something and I spoke something else, right? But still, I made sure that every time there is an opportunity, I go ahead and speak in table topics. What happened in that journey was I enjoyed that journey so much that more than speaking in table topics, now these days I enjoy being the table topics master
Okay.
because I come up with my own topics. So there is like a huge, like how I mentioned, like now I have a huge list of activities. Now I have a huge list of topics. There are some topics which I create on my own. So it's like
Uh-huh.
this is something which I started enjoying because yes, one, it is difficult to speak. But it's easy to put others into spot.
That is true. That's
So I started coming with this interesting table topics, conduct table topic marathons. When we had this table topic marathon in one of the clubs, it's like around 27 topics in a single meeting.
Wow, that is something, and that would have been interesting actually. But I agree with you.
Yeah.
Table topics is also something that gives me butterflies pretty much always, even though I've done quite a few now. But every time I go on stage, or every time the
So
table topic,
though I was professionally into speaking before Toastmasters,
Mhm.
these are a few experiences which fine-tuned my professional experience also in terms of impromptu speaking and evaluation. It
Well,
helped me to fine-tune the way I perform outside Toastmasters too.
pretty cool. So Toastmasters definitely helps, and you get a lot more than you actually expect from Toastmasters, which I've seen from lots of people.
Uh,
So
Absolutely.
now that you talked about table topics, I am going to have a table topic sort of session. But don't worry, they're pretty simple ones. It's the rapid fire round. So that's a table
See,
topic.
at the right time, I've already give you a lead that how it is.
But don't worry, this is going to be a light table topic session. I'm not going to put
So
you
I'm
much on
sure
the
you'll be kind enough.
spot. For sure, for sure. Okay, so
I, I've I've also I've also decided on a trick.
uh-huh.
If there is a difficult question, I can pretend that Atish, could you repeat? I couldn't hear you. There is some network. I could.
Neat trick. So I will counter that trick by repeating the question.
Just kidding. Just kidding. I will.
Okay, so if you are ready, irrespective of if you are ready or not, because it's impromptu, so we will start the rapid
Okay.
fire round. Okay, so
I'm ready.
so right, what is your favorite city and why? In a sentence.
Coimbatore,
Yeah,
because
your home city.
it's the place where I've been grown up, the place where I started Toastmasters.
For sure. I knew that was going to be an answer. Otherwise, your relatives back at home would not be very happy with you. Your favorite cricketer?
Sachin. That's like,
Sachin. Totally. Sachin is
even before the question, I can give the answer.
your favorite sport that you like to play apart from cricket?
I love tennis a lot. I didn't play that much. Very little I played, but then back in times where I was a huge fan of Agassi. So these
Agassi.
days so these days because of quarantine, I play tennis in my mobile.
So your favorite movie? Which is your favorite movie? Or do you even like movies or not?
I am a very, very poor movie person.
Uh-huh.
Probably like I watch one movie a year. Even that is
Wow.
rare. So
You're like the Amir fan of movie watchers. He does one movie a year, you watch one movie a year.
yeah, that also reminds me. Three Idiots I did watch. So I think if I am not wrong, Lion King was the last movie which I watched,
Oh,
and but Bollywood movie was Three Idiots was the last movie which I watched. I liked both for in terms of the learning. My problem with watching movies is maybe because I'm in a profile like this. When I watch movies halfway through, I forget that I'm watching movie. I will look at okay, so this clipping I can use for this training. I can use this as a so I get into that mode. I stop enjoying movies. So but I enjoy these two movies because these two are movies which you can use a lot for
for lots of.
trainings. Where you
Oh,
can use
nice.
that as a
That
session.
that that would be pretty useful for anyone who wants to give trainings watching this video. So, what is your favorite hobby apart from tennis and getting clippings for your L&D?
Tennis, I would not say a hobby. It is like during childhood, it is all about cricket. It is like crazy cricket player. As into speaking, as I started into speaking, like I love to organize these game shows. So because that is where it all began. Like many years back, I organized one game show, which made me feel that I'm enjoying the time with the audience, and that was the spark. My education background was commerce actually. I was that studious kid studying CA, which I later realized CA is not my cup of tea. In fact, not even my cup. And when I started enjoying these sessions with the audience, that's when I shift my career to training. So even now, I enjoy anchoring those game shows, and that's also a form of entertainment. So I love to see my audience entertained.
Definitely. And yeah, whenever we come to your speech, we are definitely entertained. So I'm going to put you on the spot. Since you said you're good at doing game shows, somewhere in the next month or two, I'm pretty sure our president is going to request you to have a game show theme activity in the club.
Okay.
So
that's not putting me into spot. Like that's something which I can start preparing from today only.
awesome.
I'm all set for that.
So Deepika, if you're listening, he's agreed to it. Cool.
The date and theme is already decided.
Date and theme is already decided. Awesome. That's perfect. So even if the guests at any other clubs who are watching this, since it's going to be a virtual meeting anyways, please do join in. Cool. So yeah, so that was that was our impromptu session. So like I said, I'm not going to be putting you too much on the spot, but yeah, we did get a game show out of that session. So pretty cool. So I mean, it's been lovely to interview you, Joe, and yeah, thanks for being part of this interview. And looking forward to your future speeches in the club and various clubs. So anything you want to say while signing off?
Thank you for this effort. Like it's a great initiative to connect with members. I'm sure like not just this video, like every single member whom you're going to interact, just like I mentioned, every club you visit, every speech which you listen, there is some learning. Every person you meet, there is some learning. So likewise, if there is some takeaway out of this video, I'm sure that has served the purpose, and let's keep that open mind to learn, listen, talk. Let's enjoy, like irrespective of there are a lot of uncertainties around us right now. But in spite of that, if we can continue to have that open mind to learn, cherish the moments, and also create an impact in others' life, nothing greater than that. I have also one request. Once everything is back to normal, once the online meetings are over, probably we can have like an online meeting once a month, but then don't get too comfortable with online meetings. Once everything is back to normal, please do come back to our club meetings. That physical meetings is needed. We need to get back to that handshakes, hugs, right? We need to get back to that. So waiting for that. So don't get too comfortable with online meetings.
I agree totally. I'm waiting to get back to life to normal. Let's hope and pray that it happens soon. But yeah, until then we have a technology platform to do whatever we need to do.
Absolutely.
So thanks so much, Joe. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Atish.
And yeah, so happy rest of the week, the working week.
Yep.